Hello, good morning everybody out there, and welcome to the newspaper review. Today being the 8th of September, Friday. Thank God it's Friday, 2023. So as usual, it's our usual perusal through the major headlines of some papers in the country to know what's going on in the country and around the world. My name is still Jennifer Mosu. So I'll start with the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian this morning, with its usual rider of our conscience nurtured by fruit. So we just go from below the masthead. First bar there says 30 killed in Abuja landslide, 19 kidnapped. Wike orders surveillance. This is quite a thing that occurred yesterday in the federal capital. So if you want to get more information about where exactly in the FCT and who was kidnapped and how the FCT minister is coming down hard for that investigation, check out page 3 from the Guardian newspaper this morning. And Lagos Assembly rejects 2 commissioner nominees, confirms 15 others. It's been a bit of drama at the Lagos State House of Assembly, especially with the speaker and the governor. But just check out who was blotted out and who has been confirmed. So those stories come up on page 27. On page 12, let the hammer fall on same-sex union. It's an editorial piece, and probably you want to read more on that. It's on page 12. On page 30, troops kill 814 terrorists, arrest 1,903 in 3 months. That's quite, that's a way of it going on up the fight against terrorism, insurgency, banditry, or whatnot that constitute vices and crime in the country. So I think it's getting higher and it's getting better. I don't know if our forces and troops can totally rid our populace of these, but in no small measure they are doing better. All right, from the big story, which features on pages 4 and 5 of The Guardian, it says poor lessons from 2020, endless wait for palliatives in states amid accountability deficits. I keep on saying this, accountability is surely one of the bane of development we've got in this country. Yes, accountability, where leaders are not accountable to people, where people don't expect anything from leaders. It's a shoddy way of governance, but these are lessons we have experienced and still haven't learned. But from that 2020 pandemic era, what's going on now with the palliative distribution across states? But I think we haven't really learnt our lessons. So check out those stories on pages 4 and 5 of The Guardian. All right, Atiku reject PEPC ruling, head for Supreme Court. A lot of us knew it wasn't going to end there at the appeal court. Definitely the Supreme Court has more options for these candidates, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party and Peter Obi of the Labour Party. They still are holding forth and insist that either of them won the 2023 presidential elections. Let's see how that goes. But for the ruling, the judgment that came from those 5 erudite, I don't know if at this point that is the right tag for those judges, but the ruling that came from those 5 judges, it's left a lot for people to chew on. How can 5 judges have the same stance? Everybody insisted, that the elections, there was no discrepancy. And for judges that, were sitting, it was quite profound that they were actually making cases for the APC presidential candidate, who was also the president. They had lawyers, a defense team, I believe, that is heavily paid, The defense team didn't need to do anything. The sitting judges did all that defense and speaking in favor of it. Like I said, it leaves a lot to think about. But moving on, Nigeria needs prayers to end insecurity, says Defense Minister. Rather ironic from the Defense Minister. You can get that story on page 3. Those are the headlines from The Guardian this morning, and from the Punch newspaper above the masthead, we see set up customer centers. Federal government tells Discos, that's the distribution company, the electric companies, because there are too many complaints flying up and down, in and out, about distribution companies and their inefficiency. It's getting worse by the day. So really, customer centers should be set up to address the problems emanating from that sector. Now there's a story of a probe on page 23. Reps summon NIMASA, NPA, and NPCL MDs, others. We know the way probes go in the country, but let's enjoy the circus as it goes on. On page 17, manufacturers pay 607 billion naira tax in 6 months. That's coming from the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. And if these guys are paying this tax, how come a lot of things are still lacking in that sector? Today, it's like I'm just casting aspersions on every other person. All right, on the tribunal judgments, which is the major story of the Punch newspaper, APC lampoons Atiku, Obi, opposition attacks INEC. Judgment devoid of justice, says ex-vice president. Obi, opposition plan beavers hacking, APC insists. And petitioners' legal teams storm Court of Appeal for judgment certified true copy. Like I said, it's a fight that is not bearing down. All right, quite a bit of ruckus at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport yesterday, as passengers were stranded, as a lot of foreign airlines were delayed and flights had to be cancelled. There are pictures there from the control towers, from baggage check-ins, and customers at the general lounge just trying to wait for their flights, that many ended up being cancelled. That story is on page 17. Akeredolu returns now in Ibadan. That's the governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, who's been away in Germany for the past 3 months due to his health issues, but he's back and he is recuperating, I believe, in the city of Ibadan in Oyo State. And that message is coming from the Ondo Assembly leader. And it's on page 16, of course. On page 4, customs intercept 692 million naira drugs, others along Ibeju Lekki waterways. They don't do it through the road anymore, so it's shipment through the waterways. A good one from Nigeria Customs Service. And on page 27, NIA demands security checks on foreign poll observers. Why the NIA is demanding this? I know a lot of foreign observers for elections, they come in and they can freely observe, and monitor some of these elections. I know we're a sovereign country, but sometimes we need an extra form of checks when it comes to observations. But I think this is a bit too hard for the NIA demanding all those security checks on them. Is it on account of the EU report that was issued that was also trashed at the PEPC? We don't know, but that's what it says. It's on page 27 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And moving on from the Punch newspaper is the Nigerian Tribune. Above the masthead, sad one that occurred about 2 days ago. Body found in shallow grave behind lecture hall of a 200-level Federal University of Oye in Ekiti State. A student of nursing, she was found dead and dumped in a shallow grave. So a lot of arrests have come up on that issue, and 10 have been arrested. in relations with the killing of that student. And that story is on page 26. And below the masthead, we see on page 8, Akeredolu returns, may hold meetings in Ibadan today. He's still not yet moving on to Ondo State, so if you want to see him, he's in Ibadan. And on page 23, so court restrains Oyo government from installing Olaoye. That's the traditional title, and there are some issues coming up from there. So the courts have restrained the government from installing Olaoye as the son of his town. All right, on page 29, commissioners, Lagos Assembly confirms Omotosho Abayomi 13 orders and reject 2. Like I said, it's been a bit of a drama in Lagos State, especially at the House of Assembly. Check out that story on page 29. And on pages 3 and 27, where the big stories are this morning, Atiku Obi say why we're going to Supreme Court. And the writers to that story, election court's judgment lacks justice. I reject it, says ex-vice president. Election petitions will be non-existent if INEC discharges its functions transparently. That's coming from Obi, who's the Labour Party candidate. Amend Electoral Act to ensure conclusion of litigation before swearing in. That's coming from the CUPP. And APC pleads with Atiku and Obi to join in nation building. Adegboruwa, Aliu, Clark, others speak. It's been so much drama since after that judgment was given at the appeal court on Tuesday. All right, on page 26, 19 kidnapped in FCT Council, Wike may hold emergency security meeting, and 30 die in landslide, all at the FCT. $46 billion crude oil stolen in Nigeria in 11 years. That's coming from the speaker. That's on page 8 and on page 23. Army court marshals 14 officers, 9 soldiers for various offenses. And there's the picture there that shows the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party and former vice president of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, flanked by the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Umar Damagum, on the left, and former Senate president and chairman of the PDP Board of Trustees, Senator Adolphus Wabara, at the World Press Conference held at the National Secretariat of the PDP in Abuja yesterday, being Thursday. I don't know why some media outlets would actually carry stories like Atiku Abubakar was congratulating the president. We should have some fact checks before we spew out such stories. So these are the real bits, and those are the front liners from the Punch newspaper. We'll just check out a bit of sports this morning before we go. We see rivalry with Messi gone. That's from the back page of the Nigerian Tribune. This is coming from Cristiano Ronaldo, who says his rivalry with Lionel Messi is gone because they have already changed the history of football. So I don't think there's so much for them to squabble about anymore. And Hermoso has finally accused Rubiales of sexual assault for the World Cup kiss. That's quite a while to wait and to put up that accusation of sexual assault. All right, we'll see how that case finally goes. And Awoniyi, that's Nottingham Forest striker, Taiwo Awoniyi, has been nominated for EPL and POTM award, and these are quite some heavy awards from the English league side. All right, and do we have anything to do or say before we go? I know it's been quite a week, especially in Nigeria, with the strikes, the tribunal, the sitting, the military making so many arrests, and a lot of things going on, but it definitely is getting better. All right, more on sports, because I know it's going to be a very sporty weekend for a lot of people. We see Eagles get full house. This is from Guardian Sports page. Eagles get full house as Sao Tome's Falcons arrive. So there's quite a lot of activity at their camp, and the match is going to get the Super Falcons striving with Sao Tome's team at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. So yes, a lot of players have arrived. All right, and we see National Stadium swimming pool management to upgrade facilities. Well, that should be done because I mean there's a lot of potential when it comes to swimming and aquatic sports in Nigeria. So that place should be given a big facelift. It's about time, please. Sports Council or Management Council, just do the necessary. Organizers to give 35% to deceased boxer's family. That's GoTV Boxing Night 29. So the organizers of GoTV Boxing Night, Fly Kite, have offered condolences to the family of the national bantamweight boxing champion Habib Ige Oladije, who passed on Saturday. So they're going to give about 35% of ticket proceedings from that boxing match to his family. That's a good one, and social and corporate responsibility. Osime Oshoala's Ballon d'Or's award nomination thrill Omar Caro and Lawal. And these are former Nigerian internationals, Bright Omokara and Demeji Lawal. And they have said that those nominations for Asisat Oshoala and Victor Osimhen to win the Ballon d'Ors are remarkable, truly remarkable. Even singer Davido has hailed those nominations. I know it's beyond nominations. We expect them to win, but it's fair enough that two Nigerians are actually on that list of fame. All right, we see endless rot, decay in professional football league. That's coming from Gara Gombe, who's the former chairman of Gombe State Football Association. And he says match commissioners' jobs have been taken over by miscreants. Those are very strong words, but you might want to check it out on page 31 from Guardian Sports, and those are sports stories this morning. And of course, we have so many things going on. You can check out our YouTube channel for, things that will make you happy, things to keep you in the news. Basically, that's what we do, and with a lot of interesting things on the side. So make sure you subscribe, check out our YouTube channel, share, and make sure it goes round. We rise by lifting others, so lift us up and let it, so you too can also rise. And don't forget, we're across social media platforms on Facebook and Twitter. So when you get there, don't forget to share, like, and retweet in between. Make everybody aware of Newsbuster and the lovely things we do. And of course, you can get developing news, breaking news on the go, wherever you are. Just check out our website at newsbusterng.com to keep you informed on the go. All right, it's going to be a great weekend for me, for you, everybody here at Newsbuster, and all of you who are watching from various locations across the world. So we hope to see you next week. But the weekend, of course, like I said, there's a lot of news and other programs still on our websites. Thank you for being with us all through this week, and I'll definitely see you next week. Bye now.